वेदैस्ताङ्गपदः क्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः। संजय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणं विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः। श्रीभगवानुवाच कुतस्त्वाकश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् अनार्यजुष्टमस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन क्लैब्यं मास्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वयुपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप। अर्जुन उवाच कथं भीष्म अहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदन इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदन।
Sorry, I was muted. So now we are entering into the second chapter. The it's called the Sankey Yog. It is not the same Sankhya that we normally. There is a philosophy called Sankhya, which is different. This is not the Sankhya philosophy. Here, the Sankhya is used for knowledge. So Sankhya word aata hai Hindi mein, so Sankhya comes from the same roots. So it is the one that actually reveals something. So here we are talking about the Atma Gyan, which is basically we can say samyak khyayate iti Sankhya. Samyak khyayate means that which is very well defined, which is so in this case we are going to enter into the Brahma Vidya, but let's just understand the definition first. And either we can say it reveals Brahma Vidya or that revealed by Brahma Vidya. What gets revealed by that Brahma Vidya is Sankhya. So here now we have seen the last verse of first chapter was also Sanjay. So he told the condition of Arjuna to Dhritarashtra, who is basically listening to this whole story. So he says that he sat down in the center of the chariot. He gave up his bow and arrow, and then now he says tam tatha kripaya vishtam. Tam is used for that Arjuna, to that Arjuna. Kripaya vishtam. Kripaya vishtam means full of pity, full of actually kripa comes from compassion, but here kripaya vishtam is actually sorrow that is born out of moha. So that kripaya vishtam, that Arjuna which is experiencing that kripaya vishtam, matlab the sorrow filled state at that time, Ashru Purna Kulekshanam. He is filled with tears. He is like rota ja raha hai, aankhon se aansu behte ja rahe, kripaya, that kripaya vishtam, the one which is totally broken down, out of means totally overpowered by the emotion. We can say that, he's so overpowered by the emotion that he can't, control himself. you know, आंसू बहते जा रहे हैं, and he's sitting vishidantam idam vakyam. To that Arjuna, who is now in this case, vishidantam is basically describing the same thing, that he is filled with sorrow. That vishidan tam tatha kripaya vishtam, that sorrowful state of Arjuna, to him vishidantam idam vakyam, this was spoken to him. What? Uvacha Madhusudana. So Madhusudana now tells Arjuna this. Now that is to follow. But the point here is that Sanjay used the word Madhusudana. Sudana means to kill. Madhu and Kata were two Rakshas, but Madhu is also used for sweetness. So the one who can cut through that sweet attachments also, the one who is capable of cutting all the, see, Kaibari, it is not necessary that that we have some very strong attachments, but it could be just because there is some past that we are stuck with. He's not seeing Bhishma and Drona, who are fighting for the opposite camp. He's not seeing that they are fighting with Kauravas, the ones because of which they have been suffering for last 15 years. He is only seeing the relationship he had as a child or as a student with Dronacharya. So he forgot what they are right now, but he is only seeing that attachment came back from the past. So Ashru Purna Kulekshanam, filled with sorrow. So that Madhusudana is telling him this. Now, so this is at all three states, we are interacting at Kaya, Mana, and Vaka. Vaka means speech level, mind level, and at body level. So all three states he is down, from the speech. Vishidantam is at a speech level, that he has blabbered all his logics to Bhagwan. And then at the mind level, he can't think straight. And at the body level, he has given up his bow and arrow and sat down. So Arjun must be thinking, that I have given up everything, and I have given this wonderful speech about my knowledge of dharma. Bhagwan will get definitely, now agree with me, and he'll say, okay, wrap up everything and let's go back. But here comes the surprise. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So who is Bhagavan? See, Bhagavan is defined in our scriptures is, जैसे हम कहते हैं धनवान, बलवान, जिसके अंदर बहुत बल है. The one who is strong, he is बलवान. जिसके पास बहुत धन है, he is धनवान. So what is Bhagavan? What is this Bhag? So Bhag is defined as, with 6 characteristics. So it says the one who has Aishwarya. Aishwarya means basically lordship over everything, that Aishwarya. One who has Dharma, the one who is righteous. The one who has Yasha, that means he has name and fame. He's got Shri, wealth. He's got Vairagya, though it is all there, but unattached. And he has Gyan, or he has Moksha. So all these qualities, the one who has is called Bhagavan. So, even in, for some rishis, we used to call them Bhagavan. They say Raman, Bhagavan Ramana, right? So he had all these things, The second definition is the one which is which controls the creation, dissolution, and maintenance of everything, is also called Bhagavan. So that is now Bhagavan. Now, the reason he says Bhagavan, he didn't say Krishna Uvacha. See, there we have to understand Sanjay is also playing with the mind of Dhritarashtra. So he says, the Bhagwan himself is telling this. It's not a friend of Arjuna who's a Sarthi of Arjuna. He didn't say Sarthi Uvacha, he says Bhagwan Uvacha. So that means understand Bhagwan is with Arjuna. So nothing can happen to Arjuna. So he says, now he gives a big jolt to Arjuna. He says, Kutastva Kashamelamidam. Kutastva, kahan se aa gaya yaar? You know, where did you get this Kashamala? Kashamala is Kayarta, the cowardice. Where did you get this cowardice from? Idam means here, now. Where, from where? This is not the Arjun I came with, you know. This is a totally different Arjun that I am seeing now. So Kutastva, where did you get that? Vishame samupasthitam. In this situation, when you have the enemies, you are surrounded with this enemy, where did you get this cowardice from? You know, so first thing is to jolt him, you know, from his thought process, that this is not the question of dharma, or this is not the question of right thing or a wrong thing. You are here for a certain purpose. Anare jushtam aswargyam. Now he has been telling Bhagwan that we should do what is good for the whole thing, you know. He says, Anarya is, Arya is used for somebody who is a distinguished person, you know, the one who is righteous, who is doing things the right way. He calls him Anarya. Means that, you know, I always thought you are Arya, Arjun. What happened to you? You are behaving like an Arya. You are behaving like an uncultured Kuth, you know. You are not understanding, you know, what your responsibilities and duties are. Anarya jushtam aswargyam. तुम कह रहे थे अगर मेरे को मार भी देंगे तो भी मेरे, you know, मैं पाप योनि में नहीं जाना चाहता. He says, what you are doing is going to take you to this aswargyam. Aswargyam means in the papa yoni, in nark. So what you are doing is going to take you to that. तुम सोच रहे थे कि मैं बड़ा धार्मिक काम करूंगा भाग के, but he is telling him कि नहीं, aswargyam. Akirtim karam Arjuna. Oh, Arjuna, this will bring so much infamy. Matlab, this is such an unglorious thing to do for a warrior like you. So here Bhagwan is showing a big surprise. Kutastva, you know, where did you get this Kayarta from? So he's trying to see if I can wake him, you know, through a little shake, you know. So he's talking in the same language as Arjuna was talking. He was talking about what is right thing to do, what is not right thing to do, what is Shreyas, what is going to take me to Swarga, and what is going to take me to Narka. Bhagwan says, you are totally opposite of what you are telling me. You are going to, but by what you are telling me, it will take you to Akirti. एक तो बोला उन्होंने, मतलब basically he says, this is the work of an anarya, means the one who is not an arya, who is not a respectable person, righteous person, the one who is duty bound, you know. So you are talking like that. You are, तुम कह रहे थे कि तुम, you know, you don't want to go to Narka, but this act of yours will take you to that, to the Papa Yoni, you know. And there is nothing glorious about running away anyway, you know. Akirtim, what are you trying to do? So जिसमें तुम कल्याण सोच रहे थे वो तो बहुत ही अकल्याणकारी है. You know, what you thought was the great thing to do is actually the worst thing to do. Anyway, Now Bhagwan continues, give him a bigger shock. जैसे पहले माँ बाप समझाते हैं ना, बेटा ऐसे नहीं करते, अच्छी बात नहीं है, ज्यादा नहीं समझता तो फिर एक आध चपत भी लगा देते हैं. तो दिस इज लाइक ए चपत टू अर्जुना. He says Klebyam, he calls him Klebyam, Masma Gamah Partha. Oh Partha, Partha is the son of Prathi, the उनकी जो मदर कुंती थी उसका दूसरा नाम था. कहता है, ओ पार्थ, यू वर blessed by your mother for this war. Mother had given you full permission ki go and fight. Oh, that Arjuna. Klebyam. Klebyam is Hindi mein word hai napunsak, unmanly. This is not a Arjuna that we are so used to, looking at him as the epitome of manliness, is now becoming Klebyam, napunsak ekdam. Don't give in to this thing. Don't give in to this napunsakta. Don't give in to this Klebyam, O son of Pratha. So basically reminding him that you are, you come from a great lineage. Don't give in to this stupidity of yours. Na etat tui upapadyate. Na upapadyate means it is not befitting you. What you are trying to do doesn't fit you. Your profile, you have an image, you can't suddenly become so weak and destitute. You can't just be a bhagoda. You have to stand up and fight here. You can't be just क्या सोचे थे तुम. क्या सोचे थे सरदार बहुत खुश होगा, शाबाशी देगा. Here he is thrashing him now, left and right. And he says, Kshudram Hridaya Daurbalyam. Shudram is not Shudra. See, there is a difference between Shudra and Kshudra. Ye Ksha wala, Kaksha wala Ksha hai. So, Kshudra is weakness. Shudra is a jati, like we have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But Kshudra is weakness. And it has no relation to Shudra. So just want to clarify, because some commentators of Gita use the word Shudra here. But that's not true. The word is Shudra, which means inferior or the weakness, durbalta, So don't get into this. He says, Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam. This is, you are falling prey to this weakness here. Bhagwan is trying to basically wake him up. Jago. Tyaktva uttishta. Tyaktva means chodo in sab cheezon ko. Drop all this nonsense. You are carrying on, telling me all this dharma and all these things. You have to drop all this and you have to tyaktva, chhod ke, uttishta Bharata. You have to stand up. You can't just give up everything here. Because Arjuna has a reputation to keep. So but Arjuna is not convinced here. So he says, ये ड्रामा चल रहा है अर्जुन का. Arjuna और Bhagwan knew that this is very deep rooted, that moha is not something that a little cajole is going to wake him up. So now Arjuna says, Katham Bhishma aham Sankey. You want me to kill Bhishma and aham, matlab मैं Bhishma को मारूं? This is what you are telling me. This is not something I can do. Katham Bhishma aham Sankey Drodam cha Madhusudanam. Matlab Bhishma and Drona are my favorite. You are asking me, oh Madhusudana, Here also again he uses Madhusudana. He says, if I kill them, people will start calling me Drona Sudana and Bhishma Sudana. But the point here is that I have decided I'm not going to kill them. And why I'm not going to kill them? Ishu bhi pratiyotsami pujarha varisudan. That, oh Bhagwan, oh my friend, oh my Sarthi, they are worshipful. They are both worshipful people. भगवान ने पूछा होगा, बेटा अगर वर्शिपफुल थे तो डिड यू ब्रिंग फ्लावर्स, चंदन, तिलक इनकी पूजा करने के लिए? Why did you come here with bows and arrows? You should have come with tilak and chandan and flowers and a ghanti to do puja. So he says they are worshipful. Shubhi prati yotsyami, they are pujaniya to me. I cannot just go ahead and attack. Now, you can see the mindset here, both sides. It's a pretty standard thing that Arjuna was so mohagrast that he didn't want to wake up from his wrong understanding. So he's trying to basically convince Bhagwan by more of his arguments, because he wants to say that, what I am telling you is dharma sangat. See, every time when we try to convince somebody, we have to use the what do you call it, crutches of the dharma, because dharma says so, because our scripture says so. So he says, I am not afraid to die. I am saying that I am afraid to kill. मैं कैसे क्लेबियम हो गया? So you are telling me I am Klebium, or I am, whatever else you have called me. There is no durbalta of my heart. I am ready to die. So he says, even using the bad words for Bhishma and Drona are sinful. Forget about killing them, So now he's going a little further. So he's trying to further justify his act here. Basically, he's trying to counter Bhagwan's argument that you are useless guy, get up and fight. So let's do maybe 3 more. Guru nu hatva.
गुरून् हत्वा हि महान् भावान् श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्षमपीह लोके हत्वार्थकामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान् न चैतद्विग्मा कतरन्नो गरीयः यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नोज्जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः ते वस्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्येस्तेऽहं शाधिमा त्वां प्रपन्नम् Nahi pasya. Okay.
Yeah, I think that should be enough. If we can cover up to here. कहता है गुरुन हत्वा ही महानुभावा. He is now telling, oh great scholar, basically he's trying to tell him that, I know dharma better than you. कई बारी taunt मारते हैं ना. So Arjun is saying, गुरुन हत्वा, गुरु की हत्या जो है ओ महानुभाव ही महानुभाव श्रेयो भोक्तुम भैक्ष्यम अपीह लोके. So this is going to bring so much more sufferings, for everybody. This is the biggest paap anybody can do, guru hatya. See, so guru hatya se बढ़ के कोई पाप नहीं है, So he says, how can I, knowingly get into this, Shreyo bhoktum bhaksham apiha loke. This is unthinkable. This is what you are telling me to do is unthinkable. Now look at this mindset. Just, I think 10 minutes back, he was ready to kill them, right? Bhagwan just took him in front of them and he lost it. He had come prepared. He was there to see kiske saath ladna hai, who is he going to fight with. But now he says, Bhishma and Drona, they are worshipful people, और गुरु की हत्या तो बिल्कुल ही मतलब श्रेयो भोक्तुम भैक्ष्यम अपीह लोके. This is the it will destroy all the shreyas that I have gained in my life. मतलब एक तो होता है ना कि ये पाप कर लिया, एक होता है पाप ऐसा कि सारे आपके पुण्य भी खत्म हो गए, तो जैसे होता है ना सांप सीढ़ी में 99 पे सांप काटा तो you come back to whatever it was, in the first row. So it is like that. Not only that you are asking me to do this pap, this is going to destroy all my punyas of the past also, So now they are these now there are two ways this commentary has been said by different people. So in one way, the Mahanubhav is used for Dronacharya also, that these are, those are the people who have achieved greatness by their action. They are Mahanubhava. So these, by killing them, and what is it? By Rudhir Pradigdan, matlab with, dripped with blood, what is it that I am going to do? If I kill them, I am going to lose all the Shreya. That's one. Second is Rudhir Pradigdan Arth Kaman Bhogan Eva Bhunjiye. What is the point of enjoying fruits which are filled with the blood of my Guru? He's making it gross, Bhagwan, samjho, main kis liye nahi lad raha hu. I am not giving up this fight because I am scared. No, I am ready to die. I have no problem. But look at what we will get into this by killing my own Guru. This is the worst of the crime. And also, if we get all the things that we have talked about, these are only going to be dripped with the blood. So he's now, though he is trying to convince Bhagwan, but he is becoming a little better than what he was in the first chapter. He's trying to justify further. It's not like he has given up, but he says, I would rather take sannyas, and give up all these things than to, or with a, go out with a begging bowl, than to do this ghor pap. Because see, there are two ways vairagya can come. Vairagya can come because you are disgusted about something. Chodo yaar isko. And the other is through knowledge, where you understand the uselessness of something, and then that vairagya comes, that is longer lasting. His vairagya was instantaneous. He looked at them, vairagya happened, This is that this is called kai sare naam hai, but one of them is Shamshan Vairagya. When you see someone dead, then suddenly लगता है यार जिंदगी में क्या है, drop everything. हमारा भी यही हाल होना है. But then, once they come back after funeral, they are back to their normal self. So तुलसीदास जी ने भी एक जगह लिखा है अपना, कहता है नारी मोई सब संपत्ति नासी. The wife died, the wealth was lost. Mund mundaye bhaya sannyasi. सब कटा के सन्यासी बन गए. But that is so, momentary, that you do these things out of some situation, it is a situational vairagya, not a true vairagya. So see, vairagya hota hai jab when you are at the peak of life, जब सब कुछ है अपने पास और फिर छोड़ के जाओ, जैसे गौतम बुद्ध ने किया. He was, at peak of his life, wonderful, everything, the kingdom was his, the wonderful wife, he had a newborn baby, but he had a bigger vision, that he was not looking at his own goodness or matlab, enjoyment or whatever. He was looking at the welfare of the world at that point. ये दुख खत्म कैसे होंगे लोगों पे? He was kind of consumed by that thought that there is dukkha. So anyway, point here is that the vairagya that Arjuna is talking about is a very momentary type of vairagya, and this happens because of wrong understanding, or because of what do you call it? I keep using the word moha, but moha is wrong understanding only. So he says this blood-stained enjoyment is of what value? Because he is not thinking about the bigger cause of this war. They were not there for enjoyment. They were not seeking, let's collect more wealth by killing these people. And they were not, they said that so much adharma has happened, and if these people continue, more adharma will happen. So, and this was not a decision that they took instantaneously. This was a decision well thought of. They even got permission of Bhishma and Drona. They got permission from their own mother that go for this war. This is justifiable. This is not something that, ये सब श्रेय और ये सब चीजें तो पहले भी सोच सकते थे. They should have decided, okay, we will give up. We will all become sannyasi and let them, Duryodhana and family, rule this. They could have done it, but they didn't. So because they thought through everything, but now he is not thinking. He is just out of emotional immaturity or emotional breakdown. This is happening, and this can happen to all of us. When we are in an emotional down, we cannot take good decisions. See, that is why they say when you are in that emotional upheaval, don't take any decision. It cannot be right. So you have to be very calm when you take decisions. So his arguments may look very powerful. Koi jo normal, if they are just don't know the background and they open the Bhagavad Gita and start reading, say, yeah, theek to keh raha hai ye. What is wrong with everybody? Arjuna is absolutely right. He's saying the right thing. He thinks that war is for artha and kama. He forgot that it is for dharma. This war was not for artha or kama. See, हमारे चार पुरुषार्थ है, right? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So he thought, all his arguments are pointing to artha and kama. Rajya, sukha, bhoga, all these things come under these two categories. But he forgot that this war is for a higher cause. So goal is dharma and moksha, nothing else. So why is it that Yudhishthir didn't have a confusion? Confusion तो Yudhishthir को भी होना चाहिए था. But he didn't have any confusion because he understood dharma. He was clear about his dharma. He didn't have any कहते जो बुराई की तरह आए सामने, उसको हटाना बहुत आसान है. If I know something which is wrong, I know this is bad thing to do, I can work on it and remove that. But अगर कोई बुराई अच्छाई की तरह सामने आए, then it is very hard. Though it is burai, but it is coming as if it is the good thing to do. जैसे अर्जुन को, it was that he thought ये जो running away है, उसके अंदर भी उसको श्रेय दिखाई दे रहा था. You are seeing running away as a great thing. Though probably deep in his heart he knew it is wrong, but he didn't want to face the consequences. So now this is a very important one. We'll conclude with this one. Now in the next one, he is showing some doubt in his own judgment now. See, abhi tak he had no doubt. Abhi tak जितना भी हमने देखा है, he had no doubts about his judgment. And also this, if you will see, the meter before that was very straight meter, you know. It's called Anushtup Chanda. There are 32 syllables in each of this shloka. And though in this one also there is 32, but the meter is a little long. And they say that every time there is some sadness, this meter becomes like that, you know. Like it normally it will be Katham Bhishma Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana na 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 na. And here it is Guru Nahatva Hi Mahanubhava. जैसे रोते हुए गा रहे हैं. अर्जुन जो है अब रोना शुरू कर दिया उसने. तो he says, I am confused. Now I am totally confused. You are telling me Anarya, Ajushtam, you know, you are calling me all these names. But I thought what I am thinking is correct. You know, I am going by the dharma, by the books, by the teachings of our, gurus who told us that Guru Hatya is the worst papa. And I am not able to decide, you know, what I should be doing, you know. So here, now his confusion is building up, you know. See, you cannot get clarity till you understand that you are confused. If you think you know, then nobody can correct you. Even Bhagwan cannot correct you because you are convinced. Bhagwan is here as a margdarshak. See, just say, suppose I am going from point A to point B, but I am lost. And if I don't know that I am lost, I'll continue. But if I am lost, and somebody says ki, "Arey, udhar jana hai, to ye rasta lo, you know, go this way." So then I'll be corrected. This guy is not actually pushing me. Jaise people say ki, oh, Arjun was so grounded, he was so dharmic, but Krishna pushed him to war. You know, these kind of arguments, stupid arguments you will hear from people, you know, that Arjuna was correct. He should, you know, there won't be no war. But no, there will be war and all the Pandavas will die. But what happens is when jo Margdarshak hai was not pushing him to that war. Margdarshan was telling me that this is the direction which will take you to your goal of dharma and moksha. तुम सोच रहे थे तुम अर्थ और काम की तरफ नहीं जाना चाहते, which is fine. Don't go towards that. That's not the goal anyway for this war. But you are the one who's bringing it up over and over again. So Bhagwan is just guiding him that this is the right way to go. This will take you to your destination where you want to go. So he says, I am not able to decide. You know, I am so confused about this war now. We know that I know that it will be very hard to live by killing all these people. You know, it is not going to be easy. But they have come together to fight us, you know. So I don't know. Whether we will win or lose, I don't know that also. We could lose or we could win, and it is very hard to decide. So he's like showing now his confusion, not because he's not convinced about his arguments. He is just saying that I am not sure if my thinking is right or not. And this is, in the next verse, next two verses, that is where the Bhagavad Gita really starts. अभी तक जो था वो सिर्फ background था. What we were hearing was only background. Here now he is in that surrender bhav. He is in that state where he says, I don't think I know. I am not convinced about my judgment now. So, Bhagavan, you be my guide. You be my master. You be the one charioteer who will take me through. So, this is now at this stage. See, Bhagavan ने अभी तक उसको कोई ज्ञान नहीं दिया. Bhagavan just cajoled him a little bit, but Bhagavan did not give him any gyan. But because he didn't ask for gyan. See, gyan tabhi dena chahiye jab when somebody is asking for it. If somebody is not asking for it, even if you give it to him, he'll say, kya yaar? This is not what I was asking for. I was asking you to convince, to agree with me. See, earlier state, if you look at all the verses, earlier Arjun was only trying to see if I can convince Krishna to agree with me. He was not looking for a solution. He thought he already had the solution. He had all the reasonings for not getting into the war. But now he's coming to a point where he breaks down in front of Bhagavan. See, this is why a good listener is very important, because the person who is blabbering will suddenly come to his senses and say, yeah, maybe I am not right. Maybe my arguments are not valid enough. Maybe I should ask him, who is Bhagavan himself, to give me guidance. Mera sarthi hai, isliye. See, the reason Krishna picked up Arjun picked up Krishna as his charioteer. He says, I don't want your army. I think I can handle this whole army myself, but I need your guidance. I need your, support. So that is why having a great friend is very important, who will help you in the time of distress. When you are breaking down, that's when he'll come through. So anyways, now he says, what is the time now? I think we can wrap it up now. 7th se shuru karenge on Tuesday. But maybe if any questions, thoughts, we can take now.
I have a question, Hajiji. What is Anushtup Chanda?
Anushtup.
Because उसमें भी
छंद का नाम है.
सहस्त्र नाम है.
सहस्त्र नाम भी same महाभारत से ही है ना. So they follow the same meter. It is a meter. Anushtup Chand के अंदर 32 syllables होते हैं. If you look at it, every quarter has 8 syllables. So उसका नाम है. This is the meter, how you chant.
Okay.
This is the meter, name of that meter, Anushtup.
Okay.
But do you see the logical flow of this Bhagavad Gita? It's very logical, isn't it? It's like a...
Yes.
So Raji, very good narration, very good explanation. So one point where you made, I have a follow-up question. You said Arjun is confused now. So he's questioning this whole thing. But at the same time, you said Yudhishthira is not.
Yes.
Because he's got dharma. So he's not questioning that we should go to war. And in the whole Mahabharata, they keep talking about Arjuna, and they always come back to Yudhishthira right off the bat. What about the other brothers? Bhima is also there.
Yeah.
So why is Bhima not being discussed? I mean, is he ready to fight? Is he also then at the same level as Yudhishthira? So he's ready to fight.
He was actually भीम के बारे में ये कहा गया है कि he was more bronze than brains. So he was ready for this war for a long time. He was actually trying to convince all his brothers when they were a little not sure about it. He was the one who was convincing Yudhishthira that they have taken everything away from us by dharma, not by righteous way, but by unrighteous means they have taken things away. So Bhima was actually more convinced about this war than anybody else. The other two were more followers. Nakul and Sahadev, whatever elder brother says, that's what we will do. These three were the ones who were more decision makers, kind of. So, but Bhima was always looking up to Yudhishthira for any guidance. If Yudhishthira says go fight, he would go. He wouldn't question him. So Bhim was convinced that this is the right thing to do. So was everybody else, They didn't have any confusion. And even Arjuna didn't have any confusion. His confusion was not about the war. His confusion was born out of his attachment to Bhishma and Drona that he was going to kill. When he saw them in front of him and he thought that I have to kill them, that's when his feet, his legs started shaking and he fell down. That is the... Yes, right.
So Rajiv, one thing is that Arjuna is still thinking in terms of his kalyan, his benefit in the way he's asking. But why is he not thinking in terms of his praja, his kingdom, like the larger good? Even in his language, he's still saying ki mujhe kya shreya karna chahiye,
Correct. The reason is that he is under the moha is actually when you stop thinking. When you stop thinking the big picture and your vision becomes very myopic. जैसे suppose करो कोई छोटा बच्चा है, you take him with you to some toy store and he's stuck on something, कि मुझे तो यही चाहिए, and he just will not budge from there because now his vision is my happiness is all here. My happiness is dependent on this little toy. If this little toy is not there, my life is useless. So that is what happens when you have such myopic vision. This is what happened with Arjuna. He thought his kalyan was in not fighting with Bhishma and Drona. They are the most dearest one. They are the one, or maybe they looked at him with lot of love. I'm thinking, कि वहां पे जब सामने खड़ा था तो भगवान अपना Bhishma and Drona were looking at him like मेरा प्यारा बच्चा, तो मुझसे लड़ेगा, So then he kind of his mind stopped working right there. He didn't think about. Then he was using justifications for not getting into war. It's not like this is what he thought. If he had thought about it, he wouldn't have come to the war. Right?
Right. But since in terms of war, I wonder if Lord Krishna would have given different advice if it was a different war. And for instance, since you mentioned Bhagwan Buddha, as you know, that King Ashoka, who was a Chakravartin, was a world conqueror, and but after coming in touch with the Buddhist teachings, somehow Bhagwan Buddha helped him see that there's a lot of suffering in war. And after that, King Ashoka became a pacifist and he basically followed the Buddhist path. Now, that was maybe King Ashoka was going after property and imperialism or whatever, like to expand his boundaries, and that's what, therefore, the suffering was unnecessary. But I wonder if Lord Krishna might have given different advice if it was a different situation or a different war,
Only Lord Krishna can tell.
Because in this case, Lord Krishna was being antaryami and he could see the future, and also he saw ki adharm ka nasht karna hai. So he knew ki, as he said, I think he says later ki these were going to die anyway. He shows in his Virat form, right, how the Kal is consuming all the adharmi people. So because of his foreknowledge, he was able to see the larger picture, and therefore he gave this particular advice, right?
So that's true. Each situation is different, and who knows what
have given
that
a
situation
different
might have
advice
been.
to Ashoka.
But having said that, one thing is for sure that he would have definitely given an advice that was upholding dharma in that situation, whatever that might have been.
See, there was no confusion in Ashoka's mind before the war. His confusion came when he saw all the dead bodies. So here there are no dead bodies, So that happened to Yudhishthira. Same kind of remorse happened to Yudhishthira when he said, "Hey, what did I do? Was it right thing to do?" But that's a different story. So
okay,
let's stick to this one.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So Raj, did I answer the question? Was it?
Yes, yes. Because typically you associate Mahabharata with two big strong guys, Arjuna and Bhima.
Yeah,
They were the big guys, right? So Arjuna is one thing, and we immediately look at Yudhishthira as the oldest brother of the wisdom.
Yeah.
And we always want to compare Arjuna to him, but we never talk about Arjuna to Bhima. Right?
Actually, there were two ladies, Kunti and Draupadi. They only depended on Bhima. They never asked Arjuna or Yudhishthira to do anything. So there was this case, we studied the story of Kichak, the general in Virat army, who was basically controlling the thing. When he started, basically pestering Draupadi to marry him, at that point she went to Bhima, says, "Iska kuch kalyan karo, mere piche pada hua hai, get rid of him." So he did, So, and also there is a story where Kunti, when they were in the Agyatwas and after the Lakshagraha, so they were hiding in some village. At that point, this family had to give up one of their kids or somebody along with the supplies to this Rakshas. And at that point, Kunti said, "Bhima, tum jao na." So she knew he's capable of taking care of all these things. So they had full confidence in Bhima. So Bhima was a great guy. So there is no doubt about it. A lot of glory to him. And he was the one who killed all 100 of Kauravas.
Duryodhan ka physical competition was Bhima only.
Even
Arjuna was his emotional dushman. He was, because he got all the attention, and Duryodhana didn't get that much from the gurus and everybody else. So those were two different types of competitions he had. But physical competition was with Bhima only.
Even when he says that initially when Duryodhan went to Dronacharya to say, "Look at this army and Phalana," he says the one led by Bhima. He didn't say led by Drishtadumna or Yudhishthira or Arjun. He used the word Bhima. So this army led by, because he was scared of Bhima. So.
Thank you.
All right. So let's.
Rajiv, maybe I'll wait till you conclude, then I'll ask another.
All right. All right. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So Rajiv,